Warren, wholesale changes in the pack. Can you explain your thinking behind them?
Tom Francis has got an injury, so we wanted to see Wyn Jones, who's been training really well. Obviously, he's been out for quite a long time with injury, but he's been back. Had spoken to Alan Wynne at the start of this campaign to say we're not expecting to play all the games. We need to see some of the youngsters in that position where we've got some talent, but they're pretty young and pretty inexperienced. And Chris gets an opportunity. He's a great athlete, and the decision at 8 is, who's our cover at 8 at the moment if Faletau gets injured. So that's the thinking behind that. It could have been someone like Aaron Wainwright as well. And we've kept some continuity in the back line, who we thought that we attacked pretty well, but we just weren't clinical in finishing some of those opportunities. So, there's changes, but I wouldn't say wholesale changes. It's in the past I've been criticised for making too many changes, particularly sometimes when we've played Italy in the past or other teams in the autumn. So I've just tried to work on the balance, and we've spoken about giving these youngsters some time in the middle where there have been changes, but I wouldn't say too many.
You alluded to the fact that you were hoping that some of these youngsters may have been brought further along the line. Is this then a changing of the guard moment?
I don't think so. I just think that we need to think about, one is this competition's important. We've lost that first game, so we can't win the Grand Slam or the Triple Crown. We still want to do well in this tournament, and Saturday's game is important for us, but we need to think long term as well. We need to think that in the next 7 or 8 months, like I said, we've got a huge disparity between those experienced players with the number of caps they've got and a lot of youngsters who are incredibly talented with limited number of caps, so we just need to find that balance.
So there is a way back for your likes of Ali Wynne, and for that matter Justin Tipuric, who's also not in the 23.
Oh, absolutely. It's kind of like, with that, in fairness, they've been brilliant, and we've had those conversations. We've explained it to the squad in terms of our rationale and thinking. They understand that. With those other players, we know what we've got. We know what they can do, but with some of these youngsters, we don't know what we've got yet. We don't know what their potential is and how they're going to handle, the likes of international rugby, and for some of them a Six Nations start, and for Rhys Davis, potentially his first cap for Wales as well, coming off the bench. So that's kind of our thinking, is just trying to get that balance and to give that group of players who get a chance, who will be excited about that, but without complete wholesale changes.
Is there a slight comparison with 2011? I know you had more time then prior to that competition, but in the regard, your likes of Chalupe came on very quickly that year, Priestland, and so on. George North was very young as well, in that you gave youth a chance, and Sam was a young captain as well. Yes,
possibly. It's kind of, I'm not looking that far ahead at the moment, but you could potentially draw some comparisons, and that's going to be, for me, people allude to that. I don't have any problems, because a lot of those decisions will be made after this campaign and the World Cup warm-up games, and obviously the camps and the time that we have together as a whole squad, where we'll continue with further development of this team.
Thank you.
Hamish or Sophia, do you want any for ITV? No? Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Warren, are you slightly surprised that you don't have many 25 to 30-year-olds if you're looking to have options from the 30-plus brigade, but you seem to have to go all the way back to 20, 21-year-olds?
Yeah, well, I think that's exciting. I think we've got a group of youngsters who, if I was in that age bracket at the moment, thinking, I've got a chance in the weekend. If I go out there and perform well and put my hand up, I've got a chance of holding on to that jersey. And that's what I'd be excited about, with those youngsters getting a chance. And so the older guys have been brilliant as a whole group, and working and helping everyone out. But as a youngster, I'd be pretty excited about the opportunity.
You've got this amazing record against Scotland, never lost, 11 wins. Is this the greatest threat to that record, do you think?
I think this is, and I said it in the autumn, I think it's the strongest Scottish side that I've seen for a number of years in terms of the depth that they've got within that squad. I thought they were unlucky against the All Blacks. They kept them scoreless for 50 minutes, and in a game where they could have won as well. So, the strength and depth for them, and a couple of people have said to me that some of the comments coming out of their camp is about the consistency that they have in the past. Have had big wins and then haven't been able to follow that up. And for us, the goals for this week is making sure that we start well. We've got to cut out some of those silly penalties that we gave away early in the game, that put us under pressure, and be a bit more clinical. And if I take the first 20 minutes out, and the score in the second half was 7-7, and we conceded 7 points when we were down to 14 men. So I've kind of tried to take the positives out of last week, and there were lots of positives. Spoke to Andy Farrell after the game, and he said, you had us under pressure a lot of times, and you put some good defensive sets together, and you stressed us defensively. So we've just got there's a few things for us to tidy up on, and if we can get those right, then I think it's going to be a great game.
You showed a lot of faith in Finn Russell on the Lions tour, kept him involved when he was injured, put him on the bench for the last game when he was fit again. What do you make of his form, and how much of a threat is he? Yeah,
he wasn't really fit for a lot of that tour in South Africa. There's no doubt he's matured incredibly as a player. He's a running threat. I think in the past people would have called him a maverick. I'm not quite sure that tag's applicable at the moment, because I just think with that maturity and his game management, what he's learned from his attacking game and also kicking game, I think he's got an incredible balance. I love about him. He plays with a smile on his face. He's pretty relaxed with the way that he does play, and he's pretty key for them. So look, he's really on top of his game and his form. He was excellent for Scotland last week.
Thank you.
Okay. Right, we'll leave the lab section there then. Thank you.